Will you be ready when the Lord shall come? Will you be ready when the Lord shall come?
Welcome to the Journey of Purpose broadcast. My name is Femi Adekbito, and this is a production of Now Success Ministries. My prayer is that by the end of this broadcast, you will have a clear understanding of how to make progress with what God put you on this earth to accomplish. But as long as those who are doing God's will for their lives, right, as long as they keep doing God's will, nothing can touch them. The only reason they were able to kill Jesus was because that was how God had set it up, right? It wasn't as if, they suddenly just got him. That was God's will for him to be crucified on the cross, and that's why even Jesus said, the body had thou given me. So everything about Jesus was, right, he was prepared for the cross, and that's why God raised him up. So God, and God has set this thing up like that to provoke those who are not doing his will to make changes in their life. That's the sickle that God has ordained to use to draw in the world, to draw in those who are not doing his will. By the massive way, right, he will bless those who are on track, or those who are doing his will for their lives. So that's number 9. And then the last thing I have, the 10th thing that God wants us reminded about concerning this new season that we have now crossed into, is that those who just miss church services, right, when God didn't permit them to do so now, will experience instability in their walk with God. But those, right, who are careful not to miss church services, except God permits them to do so, right, they will not experience any instability. Joel chapter 2 and verse 2. Joel 2 and verse 2, it says, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there had not ever been the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Now, one of the peculiarities of this season, this new season that we're in now, on God's agenda, is that it's a time when the devil has unleashed 4 categories of attacks on the earth. We see it in that Joel 2:2. Darkness, gloominess, clouds, and thick darkness. And it is only those who are partaking of the outpouring of the Spirit that God is now pouring out on the earth. They are the ones who will be able to rise above these 4 categories of attacks, right, that the devil, right, has unleashed on the earth. And right, the way God is now pouring out, we said this empowerment that God is now released on the church is the second part of that outpouring of the Spirit that had on the day of Pentecost. So we've come to a point now where there are 2 outpourings, the one that happened on the day of Pentecost and the one God is now pouring out on the church. And the way God is now pouring out this latest one is that he is channeling it through the church, right? And we see that in Acts chapter 2 and verse 18, and on my servants and on my handmaidens I will pour out in those days of my Spirit, and they shall prophesy. And Ezekiel 47 verse 12, it says, and it shall bring forth new fruit according to his mouth, because the waters are being issued out of the sanctuary, and their fruit shall be for meat, their leaf shall be for medicine. So God is channeling this outpouring through the local church, and it is those who are partaking of this outpouring who will be able to rise above, right, these attacks that the devil has unleashed upon the church. That means, right, if God has led you to be planted in a specific church and God is leading the pastor of that church to have 3 services a week, what we are saying is, except, right, God, right, is permitting you to miss, right, any of those services, right, when you miss a service, when God didn't permit you to do so, then what you will see happen is the empowerment God has sent your way, the empowerment that He has released to help you go through, right, the next few days, that time of your life, that empowerment, right, will not be there. And the things that come, right, your way, right, you will find out you're not able to do it, And remember the story of David. It was just one day when kings went to battle, and he just decided to stay home for whatever reason. And he came across something that he didn't have the power to overcome, right, at that moment. And he ended up committing a sin that didn't just disappear, that remained with him for the rest of his life, one day. And so that's what we're saying now. God is now releasing them, but we can't be smarter than God, God knows exactly what this season is about, and He has set it up in a way to help us rise above challenges that will come our way. So it could just be one day, right, where David decided, I'm not going to war. And that one day turned into months, a nightmare that just continued, and remained with him, right, for a long time. So that's what we are saying. It could be that day that you decide, God is sending a word and an empowerment to help you come against something that He knows is coming your way in the next few days. But the empowerment to rise above it is not there when it comes. That's what, we say this all the time with Peter, God was saying, come to church, or Jesus was saying, come to church. But Peter was busy. His body wanted to sleep. God, I'm tired. We've been going through all these crusades, all these days. Aren't you going to allow somebody to rest? We need a vacation. We need a vacation now. Like Jesus said, okay, take your vacation. But I've prayed for you. And so when the circumstance came, there was no power to overcome the circumstance, right? So that's the 10th thing, right? Those who just miss services when God didn't permit them to do so, they will experience instability in their walk with God. But those who, right, are careful to make sure they only miss services when God permits them to do so, they will not experience that instability because they are following the wisdom of God on how He has said we should live in this.
You've just listened to the Journey of Purpose broadcast with Femi Adekbiton. We believe you've been blessed through this broadcast, and we encourage you to listen to it again and again. For more information, please visit us at nowsuccess.org. Again, that is nowsuccess.org. Or you can call us at 440-796-0243. Again, that number is 440-796-0243. Thank you for listening.
I will be ready. I will be ready. I will be ready when the Lord shall come.
That we're in. So we will stop there.